We're live. We're live. How's everybody doing out there tonight? Let me get this all set up here. See if my audio is working. Come on, YouTube. Let's go live. There we go. Audio is working. All right, audio is working. How's everybody doing out there tonight? Short notice, late night live show. Thought Cash just got done with his, wrapped it up, so we'll go live. Lighting tonight brought to you by DeWalt. One thing I don't like about this Mac is the lighting is not conducive to doing a video after dark, so we're gonna DeWalt power this baby tonight. See how long my battery lasts. I think I need to charge it, but that'll be good enough right there. Not much glare. How's everybody doing tonight? got some downtime here, some rare downtime, so figured I'd go live. I got a delivery here in Wisconsin at 7 a.m. But sometimes if you show up the night before, they'll unload you. So I stopped in here to see, and the guy took my phone number. He says, I might get to you, I might not. But they all went home now, I think. Oh, no, they're still here, but I think they're done for the night. They're not going to call me to a door, but that's okay. I didn't really expect it. Let's see who's stopping in here tonight. Welcome back, Home Cheesecake in the house. That's a new one. How you doing? Robert B., Gary Bates. Alex says, hell yeah. E-Carrier Check. How you doing, boys? Long time no talk. We gotta connect one of these days, man. I've been had a lot going on here. I keep missing your live streams, regrettably. I love your live streams, man. And we gotta connect on something here shortly and just catch up on stuff. Yeah, Grumpy Checker. Let's talk about day trading and what paid dividends this week. Who paid? I don't know who paid this week. I know last week we got some good ones from Southern Company and some different kind of stuff there. I was just checking my account this evening before I went live. We're doing pretty well, but I don't do the day trading. That's long term. It's a fool's errand. I feel like. Gary Bates says DIY exposed. He drove with John. No, I did not drive with John. Case save my notifications effed, but you still do. But you still? Okay. Do weekly finance stuff. I haven't been. I've been barely doing videos, but that should change. Here, I keep saying that. Well, that's part of the news. One of the things I was going to talk about tonight. I alluded in Cash's live the other day. We hit a major milestone in the business. So just going to talk a little bit about that tonight here. Just give it a minute for some people to get in here. But Overtime Truckin in the house. Finally got a live stream. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I sent Cash an invitation, but I think he's going to bed. He can come in and chop it up a little bit if he's not too weary from the road, from his long travels. Georgia Patriot parked at a way station in Florida to reset before morning delivery. Ooh, you brave man parking at them way stations. E-Carry Check says we will touch base soon. Yeah, good deal. Good deal. Mechanic J, what the F? How you doing? That's a new name. Thanks for stopping in. So yeah, lots been going on for a long time, and I've been as I've whined and complained about before, been stretched extremely thin, growing the company, doing pretty much every aspect of it, and still driving when needed. Talked about eventually I have to hire somebody, and the big news is we now have a full-time, full service, full duty, on the ball, spot on office person. Golf clap. It's been these last 3 months, I would say, have been especially difficult for me. It has taken a major toll on me, and it's still tough, but I feel like 1,000 pounds have been lifted off my shoulders. It's a big deal for us. you'll find out sooner than later, it is my wife. So she was able to, we were able to bring her out of her job and be in the office. She's very competent, very capable, and is doing a great job, taking an enormous strain and burden off of me. So um, I appreciate that. I'm proud of it. It's a huge deal. It's a big transition and a big risk, but I felt like we were ready for it. So mm, that's where we're at right now, and more things to come. So we're up to 14 trucks now. Supposed to have one more guy coming this weekend, but it may not happen till early next week, just for travel arrangements. So we'll be at 15 trucks on the road, and have been 12, 13 plus for several months now, and it's been hard doing it as a one-man show. So yeah, that happened, and pretty satisfied with it. Still pretty stressful. We'll see. People come, people go, but we had a team for a minute there. One of them guys quit, so I knew that wasn't going to last. But figured we'd try it out. So yeah, I don't know. It's a little scary. I'm not going to lie. So it's freed me up to do. Obviously, it's financially a strain, but I have somebody that can watch things closer now. I found myself spending money. I don't want to say frivolously or carelessly, but probably some money that I didn't need to spend sometimes because I had to make decisions so fast that they just come at me, and sometimes I'd be like, this just has to be done. We're going to pay somebody else to do it or whatever. I don't have the time. So a lot of that can change now. I can start doing some of the more maintenance myself now, and keeping up on things better, and have somebody, help keep a closer eye on the accounting and record keeping and receivables and payables and all that. So it's going to be a healthy thing for the business, because I was doing a whole lot of things, but I'll be honest with you, it got to the point where I wasn't doing very many of them well. So, and also I can jump in and fill in the driving schedule here as needed. So this week I was actually short 2 trucks, so I had to turn one load back, and then I jumped in on the other one here. Next week I think I have everything covered, so I'll be able to stay home. So we can serve our customers better, and hopefully just keep leading to better things and more things. So that's kind of where we're at. I've been wanting to talk about it for a while, but just some things had to happen before I could. And yeah, this is actually the third. No, wait. Tomorrow will be the end of the second week. So it started last Monday. So that's pretty cool, actually. I'm proud of that. K-Save says, such a bull market back in the day used to be such a Bitcoin bear. I called back in 2021, just letting you know I'm all in on Tesla. Trust me, bro. Nah, it's just crypto's not for me, man. It's just not. It's just not who I am, and for my own reasons. And I'll admit part of them is I'm just not a tech guy. I can't keep up to it. So that being said, I don't want to put my hard-earned money into it. Now you take something like a Campbell's soup. I understand that. I obviously understand the snack food business. Yeah. So Georgia Patriot says, brave for parking at way station, 4 years of authority, 0 roadside inspections. Oh, maybe when you park at the way station, you just want to pull right up on the scale. Leave a poop bag on the scale, so they got to knock on your door. Mechanic J, dang, are you paying her more than her old salary? No, just to be honest, we got a salary, it worked out, but we're just kind of feeling it out and see how it goes for a while. Got to get a good grasp on that, and then there's going to be other expenses to go along with it, additional health insurance costs, additional, whatever. The commuting costs will go way down. So we got to get a good grasp on that. Plus, if I end up in the truck a little bit, that's going to bring in, revenue to hopefully offset that. So it was mostly because I couldn't do it by myself anymore. Something either had to happen where this had to end, or I had to have help, because I was going down a bad road. Um, James West, good job. Well, thank you. If you need to keep that up, you need to start working out, or all this is for nothing. I was doing good for the longest time. Um, going to the gym every morning, and I just got in a rut. Well, it's part of this. I'll be really honest with you. It's part of this whole reason of all of this happened. Like, my phone rings 2-3 times a night, and I have to answer it. I can't not answer my phone for safety reasons. For all kinds of reasons. If somebody had an accident, crap happens with loads, especially in the reefer business. It's nighttime. My wife had her own job. She's got to sleep. And then business hours hit at 6 a.m. And ask the drivers that hang around. Sometimes the phone freaking goes all day, and not getting enough sleep. And then if I have to jump in the truck, I have to obviously haul my own freight, and then I'm not getting the sleep I need at night because the phone's ringing. Like, well, then I can't sleep during the day because it's business hours. So it's just a big snowball of a mess, and that's just, I'm not complaining. It's just me being honest of the reason for a lot of this this whole thing and all this stuff. So yeah, I'll be the first to tell you, I got to start taking better care of myself, and we've been making efforts there. So that one guy says, spend that money. Lot lizards appreciate the support. All right. K-Save says, wifey, 15 trucks, my boy pushing 2 million a year. More than that, substantially more than that. But that's the thing too. We got to get them margins under control, and she helps a great deal with that. So, I've never claimed to be, people assume a lot of things, a lot of dangerous things, and throw accusations around. I haven't been wildly profitable up till now. My margins have been garbage, and this is going to help get my margins under control. My trailer repairs would make anybody blush, for the last year, just eaten alive by trailer maintenance, repairs, purchase, equipment costs, upgrading equipment, adding equipment. I've been buying like several trucks and several trailers a year. So anything that gets made is plowed back into the business. Well, that's hard on your margins, but it's growth. Every business goes through that. So this is going to help that. So hopefully we can start being, I'll be honest with you, for the last 5 years, I would have made considerably more money if I was one guy with one truck. And that might not make sense to a lot of people. You just got to go through it, and you'll see. I got 2 buddies I talked to, Matt and Greg, that are in the process of growing their fleets, and we talk, each of them maybe once a week, and they're like, this sucks. I don't make any money. I'm like, yeah, it's hard to make money when a driver runs over a fuel pump and rips it out of the ground, stuff like that. No, that didn't happen. That happened to one of my buddies. So it is what it is. So I expect things are going to get a little better here. Mechanic J, only invest in what you know. Yeah, that's my comfort zone. I'm a very boring investor, slow and steady, like your grandparents did. Shannon Thomas Trucking, good evening, DIY, and everyone. Good evening, Shannon Thomas. That one guy says Snorlord offers great answering services. he does, doesn't he? I just talked to him yesterday. Shannon Thomas Trucking says, you're a real live mom and pop shop now. Yeah, that's right. Hood Mirror Tassels, what's up? Oh, that's a new name. How you doing? Overtime Trucking says, blew a radiator last night and 3 wheel seals this week. 4 canceled loads. Hopefully next week is better, but that's life. Ooh, that's what you call a bad week. Yeah, I had a bit of a bad week myself. We got a truck in, getting a clutch put in it. Kind of got jerked around on that. There was a national safety recall on a certain group of serial numbers for Eaton clutches for the 10-speed Ultra Shift. And this serial number was dead smack in that set of serial numbers. And we've been to, what, 3 different Eaton shops, and nobody will honor it. Nobody will. They just say, no, that's not for the hardware, that's for the computer. Well, no, it says clearly right in there. So we had to kind of give up on that because the truck's been down for 2 weeks, and we just got to get it fixed. So get this. International, Lake City International, down by Milwaukee, wanted $13,000 to put a clutch in that truck. I said, you are out of your ever-loving minds. So I called my mechanic. He's like, yeah, I don't really have the Eaton stuff to do that, but call my old boss. So I called his old boss, and he's like, yeah, man, bring it over. Like, probably like 3,500, $4,000, depending on what you want to add. That doesn't include the rear main and resurfacing the flywheel and stuff. So add a little bit for that. So figure right around $5,000. I'm like, okay, we'll have it over there Tuesday. So that happened. 2 days ago, I had somebody, man, they got a bad inspection, man. One of the worst. And that one's gonna hurt. The officer was a real dick. Even when the mechanic comes out, he's like, I can't even find where he said these airlines were chafed. It was one of the things. So I'm gonna data queue a bunch of that stuff. And the guy, I don't know if his wife didn't hook him up that morning or what, but he was in a real pissy mood. And those things hurt. So Overtime Trucking says fleets aren't fun. No, well, I don't know. It can be. It's a challenge. Deal with 15 different people every day, different personalities. Here's the challenge for today. Meet 15 different random truck drivers tomorrow. 13 of them are sleep deprived. 12 of them got financial problems. And 2 of them are way past due to go home because their trucks had mechanical problems. Be in the middle of that every day, just in addition to, trucking nonsense. So it's interesting to say the least. So it's also helpful to have somebody take some of those calls now. That's the big thing, because you get wore out. You just get, like, people will wear you down and wear your ass out. So you have to just have somebody be in between you a little bit, because that's just every day, man. It's trucking nonstop every day. Jersey Trucker, what up, DIY? Hope all is well, my brother. Say hello to Mrs. DIY. Yeah, thanks. Good to see you, Jersey Trucker. We're hoping to go to Matt's this year. Probably see you, or this coming year. I don't know. We missed last year because of some family stuff, but we had a death in the family. The animal makes sense to me. How you doing, my brother? The animal, I will be around this weekend. If you're in the area, give me a holler. We'll go on tractor rides and stuff. Jersey Trucker says, hey, Shannon, Mechanic J, you got to get with the engineers at Eaton. They love problems and they might pay. We did. There's a hotline. There was 2 different hotlines on the recall. The first one we called was for the people at the dealer level to call in, and then we called the customer whatever hotline on the recall, and they take your information, and then they pretty much don't give a damn. Tell you to take it to the dealer and have them look at it and get in contact with them. Well, I don't know. After this is all said and done, we might go back and try to recoup some of that money. I don't really know. It's not, I mean, the guy's an owner-operator. He's buying a truck from me. I'm going to help. The decisions are ultimately up to him. So we got to sit down and have those conversations. But just primarily right now, we want to get the truck back on the road. Overtime Trucking says, one of my 2021 Peterbilt 12-speed auto trans went bad, and the cost was $21,000. Luckily, warranty covered it. Yeah, we have aftermarket warranty on this truck. Clutch is not a covered item, unfortunately. We first thought it was the clutch actuator, and then we got the tinker in and took it in, had it diagnosed. They're like, no, the actuator's fine, but it's the clutch itself. So what are you going to do? Riding Dirty in the house says, been a while, guys. Almost ready to hang up my keys. Working to keep it rolling. Not much for home. This sucks. Yeah, it's rough right now. Ain't gonna lie. And don't expect much for this winter. Boy, I tell you, because really the only thing doing anything right now is the seasonal freight. Produce and all that other kind of stuff. Man, absent of all the seasonal work, it's garbage out there right now. So, good news is it's bid time on a lot of stuff. So, try to get something regular kind of locked in and figured out. So, yeah. Alex Foley in the house says it's nice to be a part of building something and not just a number. Yeah, man, I tell you what, it's good to have you. Alex was a rehire. You know how funny life is, man. I don't know. I try to be pretty honest with everybody, all the drivers and stuff, and I think they all know that. I don't know, but we worked here before, and you know, this job isn't for new drivers. I'll be perfectly honest with you. You got to start at a higher level, and just was new and just needed a little bit more experience, and went and got that experience, and said, hey, think I'd like to give that another try. I had no issue with the kid, and I said, oh, let's give it another try then, and really glad we did. Doing wonderful, as are most of the guys. There's struggles here and there, due to, well, trucking, right? Okay, save $4.99 super chat. I appreciate that. My boss only hires divorced owner operators. It's on the application, easy to deal with. She offers free therapy. Yeah, if you ain't divorced yet, you will be by the time you're done owning a truck, right? Damn. That one guy says 17 trillion and a bunch of manufacturing coming, so they say. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I don't have a damn thing any of these people say anymore. It's just words until it happens. I read something when I woke up the other morning on, I don't know, some trucking rag online. It was in my news feed that the FMCSA made private a bunch of information from the Safer website about carriers. A bunch of the stuff that was public, they made it private. I don't even know if this is true. I'm just repeating what I read. And I'm thinking, them dirty son of a bitches. That isn't to protect people's information and privacy. That's so we can't see the statistics and stop hounding them about the lousy freaking jobs they're doing. I guarantee you. It's just, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. Shannon says, did you happen to listen to the book I recommended yet? I didn't. Oh, I started on one of them. I can't look it up in my Audible account right now because I'm using my phone for YouTube. Was it the 60-second something, or I don't know. You'll have to, yeah, I'm like an hour in. EPTX Trucking, do you have any knowledge on how to age an authority before running on it? Well, yeah, really the only thing you can do, you need the authority, you need your BOC3, and then you need primary liability in place. So you get those through. I mean, it's going to cost you a little bit. While it is inactive, it doesn't do you any good. So it has to be active. And those are the things you need. Your BOC3 is going to be just a few bucks, $20-$30. And then that primary liability will be based on, you and the information you give them. So, I can't really quote you on that. I would expect to pay like $400 or $500 a month if, you got a reasonable record and whatever. That's really the only thing you can do. And then it's still going to be hard if you age that authority for 2 years and then you go start trucking. You still got no inspections, and that's a big deal right now, is the inspections. So, man, I just wouldn't want to be starting a new authority right now. It's just tough. I'm not saying you can't or won't do it, but it's just harder than it was in the past. especially since there's like a gazillion authorities right now. And I don't know. While you're, you know what? While you're sitting there waiting for that thing to age, go meet people. Go meet people, man. Go talk to people and uh, show them that you're different. Georgia Patriot says zero building materials or automotive parts in the spot market down here these days. All food and food adjacent stuff. Consumers are tapped out. It's something, man. And you know, people say you always got to eat. People always got to eat. I've seen many times, you know, food freight take a dive, and it's all covered off spot market, off load board, and nothing for us. It's a scary feeling to open the load board and see nothing there. It really is. Jersey Trucker said, my insurance doubled this year. No accident, no nothing. I'm pissed. They tried to get me last year, or this year, man. Back in May, I switched insurance companies. I mean, we had a couple minor things on there. No at-fault accidents. I had a little hiccup type thing on there, and then a couple inspections that dinged us a little bit for I had a flat tire on one, whatever. But yeah, I just went and I shopped around. If you need a name of somebody to call, Jersey Trucker, just text me later, after, tomorrow or whatever. Not tonight, and I'll shoot you a name. They got me back down to reasonable land. I'm terrified of next year, though. I'll be honest with you. It might just be a death blow. I have a friend out in Delaware that's going through a similar thing right now. They're scared to death about their insurance renewal coming up, and I know several people have they've gotten doubled up on for no apparent reason. Well, we all know why it is. We all know the people that are causing it. Just won't do anything about it. John Brown, can you talk about some brokers denying carriers loads? I have heard you need more inspections and you have to have 3 or more trucks, as just 2 examples. Yeah, I mean, all kinds of examples under the sun. Like you said, some of them want multiple trucks, age of your authority, number of inspections, ELD visibility in highway. These highway has gotten to be a big deal. They want everything under the sun. I got denied a load 2 days ago. Get this. I knew this was a thing between Highway and Triumph, but the broker I booked the load with, or was trying to book the load with, doesn't use Highway, and I don't do any business with Triumph. So I don't know how they have this information. The broker said they looked me up on Highway. They have Highway access, but they don't use them for their packets, but they got it so they can see visibility. At any rate, they said we were overbooked. And I'm like, how in the hell would you know the loads I have booked when 3/4 of them are through brokers that don't even use Highway, or they're direct customer loads? Factoring companies can't see it because I don't factor. Where in the hell are you getting this information? They're pulling it from people's TMSs. They should not know that information if I'm not doing business, with those 2 companies. But so yeah, I got denied a load because the statistically we were overbooked. Well, I wasn't overbooked. It's probably underbooked. But that's stupid. They can tell the dollar amount of freight you have, booked versus the number of trucks that you have in your booking load volumes. So they got everything, guys. If there's something you think they don't have, you're wrong. They got your IP addresses, they got your emails, phone numbers, anyone that's ever worked for you, they got everything. And some people choose to use more of it. It's just ridiculous. So all the more reasons it's tough on a new authority. Shannon Thomas Trucking said the 1-minute cure is gold. Everyone needs that book. Yeah, that's the one I started. Still working on it. I'll let you know. Alex says Fed cut interest rates today. Maybe that will juice things up a bit. Yeah, it'll help. I mean, probably got a good ways to go. I don't know. I'm assuming they just cut at 25 basis points. And that was probably only because they're pressured to do it, I'm sure. Yeah, we could use a good cut right now. But that's gonna hurt too. It's gonna be tough to get out of this. Riding Dirty says, had grinding gears on my trans. Nobody likes a grinding trans there, Riding Dirty. Come on with it. I changed my air dryer and problem fixed. Dryer was making noise and air pressure wasn't correct. No low pressure warning, but the new governor cuts out and in high PSI. Okay. Yeah, this one was slamming and jerking the truck all over the place. That thing would slam into gear so hard, about put you through the windshield. They're damn near like lunge the truck ahead out into traffic. So it's definitely got a bad clutch. Cheap Freight Hauler says, good evening, everyone. Good evening. Gary Bates says, open up a China trucking company. Not a bad idea. A bad idea. Chief Freight Hauler says, been home since last Thursday. I'm starting to wonder if I'm a real trucker anymore. I don't know. You should be out working. Nursery's still moving down there. It's about to be over here in, what, another month or so? Gary Bates says, why stay in the U.S. if they do not want you here? I like it here. It's home. My family's here. My friends are here. It's my way of life. I've thought about when it comes time to retire, like split time between here and another country or something. Have a summer home in Bimini on the bluff, right? Just like a Wall Street guy. No, I like it here, and I overall still believe in America. It's just a lot of people trying to screw it up. Cheap Frailer says that's coming from Highway's new secure BOL system. Yeah, and has anybody checked out their load board yet? I don't know what live stream it was in, but it was quite a while ago when I was talking about they have everything, and I guarantee you they will start a load board someday. And sure enough, if they don't have one now, I checked it out the other day. So I haven't yet to book anything off it, just out of principle, because really, honestly, it's just the same loads are on DAT. And why should I give them any kind of satisfaction or insight into anything I'm doing after the grief they've freaking caused all of us? They just suck so bad. They suck so bad. But damn if they ain't got all the information. Like, there's nothing that they don't have. Man, if I had that information, I'd be so rich. Knowledge is power. And people are almost forced to do business with them now. Chief Freight Hauler says, nursery season sucked this fall. 2 good weeks and a piece of another. We normally run 8 to 10 in the fall. Oh, man. I keep hearing something tapping, like somebody's knocking on my door, but they're not. So I'm reading my comments off the tablet here because I can't see them on my phone. Chief Railer says, I checked it out. All it would show me was JB Hunt, which JB Hunt will not allow me to pull for them. Same story here. I've pulled, I don't know how many loads for JB Hunt in the past. Over 100 over the last several years. And called them up for a load a couple of weeks ago. They're like, nope, can't book with you anymore. I'm like, what in the hell? They're like, well, we updated our standards or policies or whatever, and you no longer qualify. I'm like, well, whatever. Good luck with that. I'm pretty sure it's because of the brokerage, but whatever. Who needs them anyway? Scott Hart says these brokers see way too much from a trucker and the company. They do. They do. And they are all in on using it. Let me tell you what. And they lie. They say they don't keep real-time information on your ELDs, and it can prove that they do. I got 2 buddies that use Highway, and I could call them and tell them, hey, where am I right now? And they'll tell me exactly where I am. And they do have that information and use it and sell it. They sell the hell out of it. Cheap Freight Hauler says, going to run Christmas plants the week around Halloween, but that's it until spring. Dang. What are you going to do other than that? Because Georgia, man, I call Georgia Northern Florida anymore. It just keeps getting worse and worse and worse every year in the off season. On season, it's banging. Off season, you might as well be in freaking Boca Raton, Florida, as far as I'm concerned. And that's all the way up, to the top. And you damn near can throw the Carolinas in there now too. K-Save swooping in with the $4.99 super chat, says, take that, boys. Boss is kind of jealous. 3.3 million. It's hard to say. How can I, all 15 trucks have not been here for the whole year. So, if all 15 are here for the whole year next year, who knows? But man, I'm telling you, don't get caught up on that gross number, because you might make 3.3 million, but you know what it costs to run a trucking company? About 4 million. And I ain't even freaking joking. You're gonna never know you could lose money that fast, when all of a sudden in 1 month, 4 trailers need brakes, 10 need tires, 3 of them got run into a telephone pole, 2 of them the reefer units went down, and whatever else. I've had several months of $30,000 plus repair bills on trailers. It's just crazy. Had $4,000 in repairs on a trailer this morning before 9 a.m. So, I don't get excited about that gross number. The money comes in, the money goes out. Sometimes you get to snag a few pennies in the middle. And if you don't believe me, hop to it. Go do it. Go do it. Only faster way to lose money I know of is farming, milking cows. So we'll see. Cheap Frailer says, Scott, but the companies give them everything. RTS, OTR companies give them the rate con, PODs, and buy their fuel through them. Yeah, and you are strongly encouraged to give them access to your TMS when you sign up as a broker. It's not required, but they almost force you to do it. So then they got rate cons. They got, they know who's got what booked. Oh, Jeepers Creepers. Gas Man with $50 super chat. I appreciate that, Gas Man. Man, I don't know how you do it. YouTube, a fleet, payroll, and family. Just trying to keep one truck and me going. Glad to see you on here. Well, obviously YouTube ain't been happening. A fleet, well, it is what it is. Payroll, I got help with that now. And family, they've been very understanding. Everybody's been very supportive. Really only my immediate family knows what goes on and all about this. And when I say immediate family, I mean me and my wife. Nobody else really knows. If you went and asked my mother how many trucks I had, she'd probably say like 2. So they don't even know. My daughter helps out a little bit when she can. She's got full-time, she's a full-time, adult with a job and everything. Helps me with, well, she was the one helping me with some office work there for a while. But, she's got a life. So, Moreno Manolo, what up, Semi? Any naughty girls knocking on the door tonight? Well, I don't know. I don't think Americold will let them in their parking lot, but, get some of them warehouse girls out here. You never know. They're going to have to, they're coming right out the freezer, though. They're going to have to warm them hands up a little bit. I tell you what. Josh the Vegan says, howdy, y'all. Howdy. K-Save says, I already know, bro. I'm just playing. Yeah, but you were surprisingly probably pretty close, I would wager to say. In a full year, probably pretty close. We'll see. Cheap Freight Hauler says, picking up a flatbed tomorrow. Parking the van. Going to run between the South Carolina and North Carolina border to West Louisiana. Staying south of Tennessee and north of the Florida-Georgia line. Damn. That's a well-defined area, if I do say so myself. Gas Man, again, thank you for the super chat. That's mighty kind of you. Thank you. Thank you for the support. I appreciate that. I'd just love to tell you all the things. I'm going to have to one of these. We got how many more days till September 29th? What is today? The 18th. So 11 days. 11 days. We can talk about some more stuff, but anything you could possibly imagine. and some things you can't. We've been through here. I know, people with smaller fleets from YouTube have crazy things happen. People smash up equipment. Of course, I've been through that. Driver drama, people quitting different ways or whatever. Just had his second truck abandoned. I know Gentry had his shop burned down. That was quite a thing. I can honestly say ain't none of them been through what I've been through, and it's been a crazy ride. And I've done, you know, it's not for YouTube. It's not for YouTube. I'll tell you that. Keith Freyholler says there's a broker on TikTok advertising you can use his TMS to run your customer loads. I'm like, I may be some dumb, but I'm not plumb dumb. Yeah. What do you think the first thing he's going to do is? His TMS? Huh. Wonder if he has access to that. Huh. Wonder if he's the type of guy that would go and back solicit all your customers and, oh boy howdy, he's got access to all your rates and volumes and everything. That's why I don't understand trucking companies that use these factoring companies that are owned by brokerages. Like, who the hell is, RTS? I don't know why anybody would use RTS. I view them as some of the lowest lives in the industry. Is it Nolan Transportation, NTG? They own a factoring company. Is it OTR that they own? I'm pretty sure it might be. Don't quote me on that. We need to look that up. And then there's another bigger brokerage that owns a factoring company as well. I would never use a factoring company owned by a brokerage. You're just cutting your own throat. What do you think they're going to do with those rate cons and that information? Now, if they were owned by a bank and regulated, it would be illegal for them to share information like that. Most of them are not. Most of them are not. So, gee, I wonder what they're doing. Gasman says you lose half your friends and half your family when you get a truck. And if you get a second truck, you're going to lose the rest of them. How about that? I know you guys have heard me say for years, I need help in the office. There was only one person for that job. That's why I waited this long. There was only one possibility. There was only one person, and it was my wife. I just had to wait it out because I don't trust anybody else. I mean, you guys would be astonished with her level of trucking knowledge in many different fields. She hasn't really done the dispatch part of it, but she's picking it up like a duck to water. But all the other stuff, man, it's impressive. It's impressive. So, it's humbling. I so much appreciated. Don't tell her I said that because she's gonna want more money, and I can't afford it anymore. The animal says, does orientation last 2 weeks? Orientation, depending on if you come with your own truck, will last anywhere from 1 to 3 days. If you come with your own truck, pretty prepared, got your own plate, blah blah blah, we can get you out. We can turn you in 1 day. If you don't have a truck and we got to get the truck ready and permit it and sticker it and do a hole, if you don't have a lot of reefer experience, like we do actual training on that. So depending on the day of the week you come, if it covers a weekend, you can probably be there for 3 days. Shannon Thomas says, no one in my family has a clue of how much I work. They imagine some and don't really care much because they can't understand unless they were out here. We all go through that at some level, I think. Yeah, everybody's got their own battles, and they're all different. That's for sure. Chief Ray Holler says, I think OTR is owned by Nolan or Echo. I can't remember which. It would be Nolan then. I'm pretty sure it's Nolan. So, might I suggest Triumph? Yeah, they do a pretty good job, and they're regulated. So, go in, I don't know, go in one of my other videos and pull the info out of the description. Talk to Ashley over there. Tell her I said, DIY says, hook me up. We just got a 50 truck fleet hooked up over there for their brokerage and their carrier side. They gave him a smoking deal. So yeah, that Triumph Pay portal is pretty sweet. Shannon Thomas says she is the bomb. Yeah, she is. The wifey, I mean, of course. Riding Dirty says, what's a good factoring company? I was about to leave OTR for RTS. Now I'm having second thoughts. That's like jumping out of the frying pan and into the fire. Go, I tell you what, go in one of my other videos. You might have to look through a couple videos to find it in the description, but call Ashley over at Triumph, man. Tell her I sent you. Of course, I get a small referral fee. But I've used them, so I'm not a hypocrite. I factor my brokerage through them. I've never factored my carrier, but when I am doing something with the brokerage, I factor it through them. I haven't done anything with the brokerage, probably maybe 5 loads this year. I just dropped it. I don't have time for it. But I love their portal. It's smooth like butter, and their rates are pretty good. Man, I've talked to some people, man, that are paying like 7-8% for factoring because they're brand new. People calling while I'm live. We can't be having that. And they charge significantly less than that. But Chief Ray Heller says, riding dirty. I use Truckin Pro, but I was waiting to see if DIY had any suggestions. Oh, riding dirty says, please recommend a good TMS. Owner operator, one truck and trailer. So that's an interesting topic. That was one thing that I've been meaning to talk about, and I have no affiliate deals, no promotional deals with any of them. Okay. We're gonna start using one. I've been looking around, and it's got to have a couple things. It's got to have a really good user-friendly driver app, so that I can send the dispatch information. It's got to work well for them sending their paperwork in. It's got to be affordable, and it has to do everything I want and just be user-friendly because I am technologically challenged. I think, and I haven't no solid decision on this yet, but I think I'm going to go with Alvis, Alvys. Gonna have a meeting with them first and do some more demo stuff when the time is right. Like we're gonna work into that. It could still be, hell, it might be a few more months, but it needs to happen to get us more organized and efficient. Because as of now, I do everything on Excel, and which works great, and it's not hard to use, but it's just not what we need. I need EDI, stuff like that, and everything to be integrated. So that's probably what I'll go with. I don't know exactly what it would cost for me. It's not the cheapest out there. I'll tell you that. There's cheap ones you could get with one truck where you're probably at like $30 a month. I need more features than that, and that's maybe the way we go. So I'll give you updates on that when we start working towards that more. We got a whole lot more, cats to wrestle out of the bag, and before we get to that. So I'll let you know. Shannon says, love her. She's very intelligent. Yeah, she is. Oh, crap. She's listening. Kelly's Kitchen says, I thought for sure he was going to say cash for his office assistant, and I'm not getting paid. It's all pro bono. Oh, I'm busted. I thought for sure she was in bed. Yeah, what are you going to do? Robert B., did apportioned plates just increase 10% on us? Yes. Wisconsin is increasing their apportioned plate fees by 10%. So my plates this year were, what the hell were they? Give or take $2,100. I don't remember the exact dollar amount. So next year they will probably be about $200 more. Yay. But Wisconsin hasn't increased its IFTA in a very long time. So I don't know, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. There's got to be an IFTA increase coming as well. I hope not. There you go. Kelly says, Robert B., yes, they did. Big bucks. Shannon's sucking up right there, trying to get in her good races. That's a good deal. Josh the Vegan says, I thought my 2.75% was high. Yeah, I heard there's everybody and their brother's got a factoring company out there right now. I wouldn't trust most of them, but yeah, I've heard of some stupid high factoring. Highway Hustler says, well, he retracted, says, have you looked into Toro? It's good for what you're looking to do. Is that a TMS? I have not. I've never even heard of that, so I'll have to Google it and look it up. Cheap Freight Hauler says, DIY, have you looked at Truck Logic's 7-day free trial? Excuse me. I have not. That would be one I'd probably recommend to, if you just have one truck, because it's very affordable. It doesn't have all the features that I want. I want one too that can toggle back and forth within the same TMS from brokerage to carrier. Your more expensive ones can do that and not mix information. And I kind of want that. That's not a must-have, but I kind of want that. Shannon Thomas says, will it include an English proficiency test? If it does, I'm out. Like, I'm not qualified. I can barely speak it, much less read it. Georgia Patriot says, cheap free TMS companies are going to steal and sell all your info. Yeah, so up till, I don't know, this spring, late last year, whatever, I used Ascend TMS because there was a free version, and they took away the free version. It's all paid now, which is fine. That's whatever. That's their business. I don't blame them for not giving out a free TMS. But it could do a lot of things, but it couldn't do brokerage and carrier side by side. So, and I don't do enough loads for the brokerage to like justify paying for something like that. I make damn near no money at it. Highway Hustler says, yes, it is a TMS. Okay. There's a lot of them out there. I really like the format of that. I just kind of judge by other people's rate cons that come over. And I kind of like, you ever seen the ones from Aljex, Aljex? I kind of like their format. I hate McLeod. McLeod can jump off a bridge, and they're stupid expensive. And they charge you for every little thing. I'll never get McLeod, even if this went giant. They can jump in the river. Truckin for the Hustle says, I use Truck Logics. Have you looked at them? Like I said, no, I haven't, but I know other people that use it, and they speak well of it. A couple of them have just told me when they added things that they were doing with their business that it just didn't do everything then that they wanted it to do. So off the top of my head, I couldn't repeat what those features are. So I'm just kind of just moved on to the next thing, I guess. I've watched online tutorials from that Alvis. And I think it's pretty slick, man. It looks pretty slick. The driver app is a big deal to me. I really want a good driver app because I want them to use it. If it sucks, they're not going to use it. Oh, and it has to have where you can scan in a rate con and it reads the rate con and builds the load automatically, like with AI or whatever that interface is that they're using. I really want that because that would be just, I've put off for a long time getting a TMS because the TMS is great, but you got to sit there and enter information. And I don't have time to sit there and enter information all day. Once it's in there, it'll do its thing. So it has to have a feature where it will scan and rate con and create a load. And I think that Alvis does that. I think a lot of them probably do it now. So I don't know. And then EDI, which most of them will have electronic data input. What else? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Obviously, you have to be able to individualize and customize payroll and not just be able to create one template. And then some of them they'll do payroll well for like a company driver, but then like when it comes to an owner operator, figuring the percentages and this person's on this percentage because they have their own trailer. This person's on this percentage because they don't have a trailer. It didn't want to really allow for those differences. And some of that could be my shortfall for not understanding it. But yeah. Highway Hustler says, yep, Toro TMS does that. Okay. Robert B says, I got pulled over and given a level 2 inspection a few weeks ago, only 20 miles from home. Clean inspection. Trooper seemed like he was just checking for obvious shenanigans. Yeah, I had somebody get hit real hard the other day. Not at all happy about it. And that one's going to hurt. I ain't going to lie. And it was all ticky. Well, 90% of it was ticky-tack nonsense. I got him for a breaks out of adjustment. That's not minor. That's a substantial offense. So we're just gonna have to see. I mean, it was so ticky-tack. When the mechanic came out to fix it, he had to go inside and get the officer to come out and point out to him where the airlines were chafed. And you know where it was? Those airline separator clips? He had removed one of the separation clips. And the holder will leave an indentation in that airline because they hold them tight. They don't slide around. And he called that chafing because he removed those airline spacers. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And then another one he wrote up, airline chafed, and it was showing signs of white. Well, if you chafe an airline, you go down, there's a white woven layer in there, right? So the driver sent me a picture. I says, go run your hand over that airline. So he goes under the trailer and rubs his hand on the airline a little bit, takes another picture. It was freaking it was road grime. Like, you know what the salt spray does to that? You just get that white residue on there. Well, obviously it was probably left from last year or just from whatever. That's what it was. I'm like, that's not chafed. That's not worn. That's dirty. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. So yeah, it was an out of service, and went 22 years of having trucks without one out of service, and then all of a sudden like got a couple of them here in the last year, and it just 20 some years counts for nothing after that. Like, oh, you got a couple out of services. I'm like, yeah, in 25 years, they just happen to be right now, So it's but it doesn't matter. It's here and now. Chief Ray Haller says a lot of the newer TMS systems will do that. One question is can their software handle multi-pick drop loads? Some can, some can't. Yeah, that's another thing. George Patriot says, speaking of shenanigans, where's Cash? I think he's in bed. He had too many Cassius King boner pills and had to go sleep it off. Too much lot lizard sweat. Robert B says, did they put him out of service? Yes. Yep. Chief Raylor says, pics and data queue that one, DIY. Yeah, we took pics, and we also had to make a video of him being in the way station so we could prove we didn't take the pictures later. And the mechanic doesn't want to get involved in that. He doesn't want to give a statement. So I'm hoping we can get about half of it reversed. We obviously aren't going to win the brake the slack adjusters out of adjustment. You're not going to win that one. And then there was a marker light that was out. So the rest of it was like chafed airlines. There's nothing of the sort. Sounds like that inspector was an excited rookie. I don't know. I didn't meet him. Dang glad I didn't run into that DOT officer. Yeah, I've had inspections like that. Luckily, though, they didn't find anything wrong. I had a dude, and this is in the Janesville, that Janesville, Wisconsin Super Coupe. When it was still new-ish, I went through there and got pulled in for level 1 into the inspection bay. Dude looked at my truck for like a half hour, went inside, went through my logbook. That was still paper logs. And handed me my logbook back and says, I can't find nothing wrong. He says, I can't let you out of here without finding something wrong. And I'm just like, did you really just say that to me? Back out to the truck we went. And he wrote me for a loose shock bolt and an oil leak on the engine. Well, the loose shock bolt was nothing of the sort. When I got back to the shop, the mechanic's like, yeah, I put my freaking impact on it and it didn't move. And the oil leak was around the valve cover. It was like oil was just seeping, where it was just wet. It was, like that wet discoloration. I'm like, well, I guess you got your violations there, bro. Good on you. But that's not the spirit of the law. It's not the way it's supposed to be. It's just, and then there's nothing. And then he tried telling me that, oh, don't worry about it. It doesn't go on your CSA points. It only goes on the company's CSA points. I'm like, dude, you're a outright liar. Outright liar. They should be penalized for lying. Shouldn't be able to lie. Sheet Freight Hauler says underwriters are nearsighted when rating your policy and they see some out of service. Yeah, not a lot you can do about it. Alex says, hey, DIY, do you still do those safety videos on the channel these days? I'm behind on that. I owe one. I owe more than one. Got to get one done here. I'll get one done this weekend. Where did this truck get put out of service? I need to go there. St. Croix, Minnesota, I-94, the Minnesota-Wisconsin border there. Ooh, somebody just came out of the warehouse. Are they coming to get me? Come on, buddy. Come on, bro. Put me in a door. I dare you. He's getting in his car and going home. That punk. Anywho, Alex says Mr. Singh came to Speedco this morning asking for a DOT inspection with a crack in his windshield 2 feet long. I hope they didn't give it to him. Chief Freight Hauler says, I need an inspection. Well, just roll on through there. Check out one of the new Wisconsin Super Coupes, either down by Sparta on the eastbound side of 90. That's a training scale. I try to stay away from that one because they pull you in for an inspection. They're training new inspectors, and they really like to dig extra hard to find stuff that's wrong. And then there's that new one up by in Roberts, Wisconsin on I-94 eastbound. Never been in that one yet. And then I just saw they're building a great big one up by Green Bay in Wrightstown, where they north on 41, just south of Green Bay. They knocked down that old little shack that used to be there, and they're building a giant 2-story way station there. I'm like, what? It looks like a freaking what do you call that tower at an airport? They're up so high in the air. I'm like, what in the hell do you need a building that tall for a way station? But can't wait for that one to open. You're going to need to pay for that as well. Robert B says, yeah, go around that St. Croix. Well, somebody may have told people that, and some people don't fear that kind of thing. And they say, oh, if you're not doing anything wrong, you won't keep your equipment up, you won't get any problems. Don't be that naive. Don't be that naive. If there's something wrong, they'll make something up. If they want you, they're going to get you. And that damage is irrefutable sometimes. So don't be that naive. There's a lot of good dudes out there that are inspectors, but there's some dudes that got like a stick shoved up their ass sideways, and they're just taking it out on somebody. You don't want to go through after some jackwagon was in there and pissed him off, 15 minutes ago, and you come rolling through and he's still in a bad mood. Take it out on you. That's the last thing you need. Alex says, no, they failed him on 7 different items. Good. Did they test him for English proficiency? I think, hey, when you take your truck in for an annual DOT now, why not DOT the driver as well? See if he can even properly ask you for a DOT inspection. Chief Freight Hauler says, I've got 3 chips in my windshield. They still just roll me through the scales around here. Damn it. Brian Duvall, Orange Man Bad coming out. Hold on. Orange Man Bad coming out real. Get demanding to make it work. It you go farm man gone trucking. You must be using text to speech to text. Maybe you're using it backwards. That's why that didn't come out right. I don't want to go farming anymore. I'm done with that. I can't work like that anymore. Too old and fat and just don't want to. I don't want to. Alex says, oh, and Strong Sergey pulled up asking if it was DOT legal for his truck to have all new trailer tires on his steers and drives. I'm not kidding. Trailer tires on your steers and drives? No. Why not just put, you don't want to use a true trailer tire, but you could use an all-purpose on your steers and drives. That would be legal. Probably not even any more expensive. Saw him drive off, and he really was running on only trailer tires. Wow. Trailer tires ain't built for the kind of torque that goes to your drive tires, or the kind of beating that your steer tires take. Chief Ray Holler, we used to have a good inspector in South Carolina. He would always say, "I'm not trying to cause problems, just kicking tires and waiting on retirement." Yeah, that's the kind of guy you need. He gets the spirit of the law, which is, keep unsafe equipment off the road. If somebody rolls through with, you know, a quarter-sized chip in their windshield, are they a danger to anybody? No. Tell the guy, hey, go get that fixed before you come through here again, But if somebody comes through with a broken hub and the tire's wobbling so bad it's about to fall off, well, you pull that guy off the road. Chief Freyhaler says, put recaps on steers. Oh, you can legally do that, except on a bus. Did you know that? That is legal. You'd have to have you'd have to have several screws loose to do something like that. But it is legal. What else we got going on tonight? Let's had a bunch of emails come in. Let's check the emails. Ain't nothing there. Has had somebody email me a bunch of dealer level instructions for getting into the we're doing work on a carrier reefer unit. That's pretty cool. I used a fake name. I'm assuming he doesn't want to get in trouble, so I won't read it. But thank you to whoever did that if you're watching. That's pretty awesome. I'm not going to give that out because I don't want to be responsible for somebody messing up their reefer unit. G. Walker. Got an email from G. Walker. I'll have to answer that one about drivers on the East Coast. I think that probably going to chill at 15 for a minute because got to adjust to that. Got a whole lot of new things to adjust to right now, but not opposed to it. Even had somebody emailing me about, hey, you're going to start doing dry van? And my answer was, I don't know, someday. Why not? I don't have any dry van type regular freight, but it's out there. Cheap Freight Hauler says, got to stir the pot sometimes. What you doing with that pot? Alex, my brakes are still squealing like crazy, so whatever it is, it's not the brakes being out of adjustment. Well, they're probably so glazed by now from overheating that they're going to squeal no matter what you do. Alex had new brakes put on his tractor, and they had them things adjusted up so tight that they would just start smoking, and they were just spitting brake dust all over the place. They've been apparently dragging for quite some time, and out of adjustment. Got them adjusted, and it's still happening. So I'm guessing probably your slack adjusters on that axle are going bad. Did they tell you that your brakes were out of adjustment? So from all that heat and smoking that they done, they probably glazed pretty bad, and they're just gonna squeak from now on anytime you touch the brakes. So that'll be awesome. Cheap Freight Hauler says reefer rates should be going up. Holiday hams and turkeys should be going soon. People gonna eat. It's already happening. I talked to a buddy that hauls reefer up in northern Wisconsin, and I guess the turkeys out of Genio are hot and heavy now. So they're pretty ahead of the times on that now. They don't. They got that stuff figured out pretty good for the holiday rushes. We don't. The dry stuff can ship all summer. Shoot, Christmas freight is dry stuff. Is a lot of it's been moved. You're going to have your refrigerated stuff still, but they got a pretty good grip on that stuff. So, what was the holiday not long ago? Was it 4th of July? What was it? No, Memorial Day? Was it Labor Day? No, what's the one we just had? 4th of July? Labor Day. You're not supposed to wear white after Labor Day, right? I don't know. Probably wrong on that. I'm tired. that was like the first holiday I've seen in like 2 years where rates went crazy. But it also kind of coincided of about the time of, DOT Blitz Week. So, and people were starting to get scared of that the English language proficiency as well. So, was it real? I don't know. Let's see what happens for Thanksgiving here. See if we get a holiday rush, because like the last 10 holidays have just been giant nothing burgers. I swear somebody's messing with me. I feel like my truck rocking. One of y'all out there? Nope, ain't nobody out there. So yeah, that happens. Chief Ray Holler says, "Love me some fried turkey." Labor Day. Okay, that's what I thought. I knew I couldn't wear white after Labor Day, so I put my hot pants away and all that. Now it's all colored briefs now instead of whitey tighties. It is after Labor Day. Georgia van rates were good until a week after the 4th. Happens every year. Yeah. Yep. Gasman deep fried turkey. Definitely seeing more people pulled over past the way stations. Yeah, I saw that happen like 5 times yesterday. Trucks pulled over shortly after the way station. So I don't know if they're listening to Cash and I's live streams about just starting to pull over the people that run the way stations, but been seeing it. And what in the hell is with Super Ego? Yesterday, from I don't know, like South Carolina all the way up to Indiana, I must have seen 5 Super Ego trucks just pulled over on the shoulder doing nothing. The hood's not open, none of that. I'm like, is that their thing? Is to just park on the shoulder now? As well as, some other nondescript companies. Do they tell people to do that? Because that's a pretty specific thing for like 5 of their trucks to do. If so, hey, I ain't afraid to, you know, cash in on that lawsuit. Cheap Frailer says probably Cash putting a quarter in your glad hands. Probably. That dirty dog, he's good for that. You got to watch him. He's a little slippery. Alex says they pull over to contemplate their life's choices. Probably. I was told that they pull over right where they're at, and then they call in where they're at, and their company resets their logs right there. So maybe that's what they're doing. Can't imagine they'd be dumb enough to sleep on the shoulder of the road, or that you could. I don't know how you'd sleep on the shoulder with the freaking traffic whizzing by. Tell you what, this battery life in my DeWalt flashlight here is killing it. Good thing I'm going home. I'm going to have to charge that when I get home. Sushant Bajaj. Sorry about that. Hello from Alabama. How you doing? That actually sounds like a possible reason. Yeah, would you doubt it? They getting that Lithuanian reset right there on the side of the road in Louisville, Kentucky. Gas Man says, while we're sleeping, Cash is creeping. Hey, that's how he makes his money late at night. That's how he makes his money. It's also how he scores his methamphetamines. Notice how that man never sleeps? He's up all night long. Chief Fairholler says, I've slept on the side of I-20 a couple months back. I swear to God, there's a freaking live raccoon inside my cooler. I got my hand here, got it sitting on my cooler, and my cooler keeps shaking. And I'm not doing it. We having an earthquake, or is there a squirrel in there? I don't see nothing. How can you sleep with that traffic? And aren't you scared of somebody just flying right under your ICC bumper? I wouldn't be able to sleep a wink. Alex says maybe when Russia takes over Moldova, Super Ego will fall apart. Good question. Wait, no, they're Lithuania. No, not in Lithuania. Serbia. Belgrade, Serbia is their home headquarters. So they're in a different country. But they already got their funding, so I'm sure they'll keep on trucking. Chief Ray Holler, but I was delivering to the construction site and I was in a barricaded section. Okay, well then you're probably protected. I stand with Super Ego. Yeah, I saw a driver named Alex walk into a Speedco this morning and tell the guy, hey, do you want me to park behind Prime or Super Ego? I'm like, gotcha. Got your psyche calling them super ego. Then nobody batted an eye at it. They're just like, park behind Prime. And then commence to tell us that Prime is the slowest company in the world in approving their work orders. You're just going to sit behind them all day. Gotta love that. Gotta love that. How long we been live here? Hour and 15 minutes? Man, we ought to practice, but I can still jabberjaw a little bit. So I got this new camera here. What's it called? Insta360. Go. What does that say? Go 3? Insta360 Go 3. Pretty sweet little camera. You can take off this. I don't know. There we go. Just it comes off. You can wear that like a body cam and stuff. And I got like 8 videos made on here, so I better not mess around with it too much. Just got to get them edited and uploaded. Is there anything I promised somebody I'd do and didn't do because I'm a loser? I don't know. Got a bunch of repair videos on here. Got to get loaded up. Lego my ego. Yeah, cheap trailer. Good to talk with you the other day, DIY. Yeah, I enjoyed that. I don't mind talking to people, especially when it's late at night and you need to stay awake. It's the best time. But I think it's pretty evident by now. These folks ain't gonna unload me, which is sad. I could have gone home tonight. Oh, cheap freight hauler posting a link. Let's see what that's all about. Can I open it? Let's see what that is. Oh, cheap freight hauler posting a link to his new, holy cow, his racing slicks on his drive tires. Nice. Anybody's got any links they want to post, go right ahead. You're welcome to it. Raider Express is the slowest company. Okay. Cheap freight hauler DIY, what would you do if one of your trucks showed up like the one in this video? I had a dude roll in with a trailer tire looking like that. And the first words out of my mouth were, well, that's like maximum lifespan out of a tire. And then I looked at him, I said, what in the hell are you doing? Like, you can't be running around like that. And then I got under the trailer, and yeah, no brakes either. Like that much brake shoe left. I'm like, yeah, buddy, you're out of service. Go do something with your day, because you're getting brakes and tires like today, or you're not leaving. It's frustrating getting people to do inspections. We make progress. But got to do your pre-trips, man. You got to look at them. You're always going to find. If you're not finding something like several times a week, you ain't doing it. Now, is everything an emergency? No. But like, stuff breaks, man. Stuff breaks. Find a super trucker to put in that classic for number 16. That I might get some time to work on that now. I don't know. Somebody wants to buy it from me, and they want to do a good thing with it. They want to buy it and they want to give it to charity. So I might do that. It would be a higher use for it. So I'm not donating it to charity. So don't even start that nonsense. I'm not like big on just giving away, 30 grand for free. That's it's not these days. Chief Railer says fired. I wouldn't fire you the first time. If you kept doing it, yeah, you can't work here. You really can't work here after doing that the first time, because that means not only are you not looking at your equipment and doing inspections, it means you ain't looked at that thing in a long time, like weeks, possibly months. Had a dude, no names, had a dude, met him down in, where the hell did we hook up? Rochelle, Illinois, at the Petro. The meetup, swap some paperwork. Walked around the trailer, 4 marker lights out, 2 on the side. I says, you don't see in your mirror that these ain't working? The answer was, I thought those were just reflectors. I just shook my head. I'm like, give me the strength. Give me the strength to make it through this one. I'm like, your ass is going right in the shop over there. Just a couple bad tires. I'm like, you're not leaving here. Your ass is going right in the shop. So we did that. You got to keep an eye, and I get it. You know, busy, tired, not my equipment, not my problem, not my job. Well, it is. It is. It's your responsibility as a driver to inspect your equipment. So I'll try to work with you and teach you. But if you're obstinate and it's still clear you're not going to do it, you got to go. Alex says, I'm sure there's a few YouTubers who would love to do a new series on it, then give it a Mississippi truck wash. Nah, this, or, you know, just drive it for a year and park it in Dallas with the yeah, park it in a random spot. Paul Harris, isn't an annual pre-trip enough? It might be. It might be. Kelly's Kitchen says, sell it. Yeah, she's tired of looking at it. I don't blame her. Robert B says, LOL. Boss says, sell it. The Max must be working out good. It is, man. Oh, did I have a boogeyman in this Mac a couple days ago? And it took me a bit to figure it out. Turns out it's not the fault of the truck. It was a trailer. Well, it's complicated. So I'm going to make a video on that. The fix was $4.65. It just took some time to figure it out. It's holding this mystery part here in my hand. But she went a little wonky crazy on me. But we figured it out. So I got to do a video on that yet. I don't want to spoil it. Cheap Freight Hauler says that was an Ego truck. All 8 drives were slick. Damn. I don't see. So remember the last few years, anytime you'd see an Ego truck, right? It's Ego on the trailer, but then the truck is like, what, Rocket, Hajib, what are the other Ego, Floyd, the Ego sub companies. You know how long it's been since I've seen one of them? Every single one I've seen is, for a while now, is, they get the guy to go get his own authority and pull their trailer. So, what are they up to over there? What are they up to? They're trying to pass the liability is what they're doing, but Shushant says, Night ELD, do the reset all day long. They have a WhatsApp group for drivers. They just send a message and get a reset. Are you kidding me? Oh, not Night Swift, the company. The Night is the ELD brand. Is that what you're saying? Clarify that for me. I'd love to see that firsthand, like exactly how that works. Don't really want anything to do with it. Their justice is coming someday, I'm sure. I would prefer not to experience a super single blowout in my lifetime. Yeah, got to keep an eye on them and not have that happen. Cheap Freight Hauler says, checking the tires and brakes is not my job. CDL equals can't do labor. Oh, that's a good one. I got to start this truck. It's getting warm in here. I got a fancy new homemade APU setup on here too that I haven't shown yet. It's a work in progress. It's a expandable. So we'll see how it works. Cheap Freight Hauler says they've got like 97 different company names. Okay, I probably only saw like 5 of them, but I'd still think they're doing the own authority thing because they're like logos and nothing is matching there. Their whole business model is technically illegal, but it's complicated. Kelly's Kitchen says, I think that boogeyman is still in your truck. First the lights, then tap, tap, tap. Now it's in your cooler. Yeah, I swear I had a live raccoon in my cooler. And I know I killed that sucker and ate it already, so he's not in there. Just weird. It was like vibrating. Alex says, when did foreign companies get the ability to operate trucking companies in the U.S. from another country? It got popular during COVID, man. It got popular during COVID. There was enough money to make it all happen. Man, that just, and How many loads do you see on the broker boards anymore that it's 850 miles, pick up at 5 p.m., deliver 7 a.m., 850 miles for a solo truck? Like all the time. All the time. They've totally effed up the freight market. What should be team loads has just become regular practice for solos to do. And they don't care that it's illegal. They don't give a damn at all. And they say, well, just somebody will do it. We'll just get it done for solo price. That just ticks me off. Chief Freighauer says, Miss Kelly, he won't be able to sleep tonight. Oh, yeah, we will. We certainly will. We certainly will. I think we're about done here. It's getting late. I'm sleepy. My hopes of getting unloaded are completely dashed. Although these people are still here. It ain't gonna happen. They'd have called me by now. I was kind of secretly hoping they'd call me during this live stream and put me in a door. But instead, we sit and burn more reefer fuel overnight. That's all right. It's what we do. Chief Freighauer says, I wish I could force owner ops to haul me freight, take 30% off the load, then force them to buy my overpriced truck and run my fuel card. Ooh, I need to step up my game. 30%. Force them to buy my overpriced truck. Yeah, I make way too good of deals on trucks. I got to start making money on that, especially if people are going to trash them and turn them back in. Or, get the truck with new-ish tires on it, turn it back in 6 months later with 6-ball drive tires. Yeah, I got to start knocking heads off on that. Or at least come out even. 30%, that's pretty good. And be able to sleep peacefully at night. See, that's the hard part. Can you live with yourself? Can you sleep at night knowing what you've done? And I say, like a baby. What you need? Let me show you what you need right here. Where is it? Am I out? No, we got some right there. Where you at? You need some calming magnesium powder. One of these in a bottle of water before you go to bed. Relax you right down. Sleep like a baby, I say. No melatonin, no nothing. Just a powdered magnesium. Chief Freighauer says DIY that fuel card company in Tennessee is 40 million gallons a month. Damn it. I think I'm pushing 50,000. I don't know, man. They're never gonna. How do you beat that? How do you beat 40 million gallons a month? That's crazy. And now everybody's. I got in at the wrong time, man. Like about the same time I came out with mine, you had what? You had A to B. All your factoring companies started putting them out. And they got offices full of people to handle this stuff. I just don't know that it's gonna long term get there. I thought it. I don't know. Well, it is what it is. It's there. It's growing. It's still working. But we'll see. Georgia Page says I was educating the broker on my current load why it won't be delivered at 8 a.m. Told him this is the new normal with legal drivers. Good for you. Good for you. We've tried to explain that to a few of them, and they're just like, die. What? We'll just drive faster. Well, then you got to start with a fresh clock. What, they don't. The whole time-space continuum is a mystery to them. Alex says start leasing trucks for $4,000 a month and change the company name to Plime. Oh, what's Plime an acronym for? It's Prime as please remember I mortgaged everything. Prime Inc. Please remember I mortgaged everything. I need cash. Isn't that what it is? Cheap Freighauer says keep grinding. You'll get there. Woo! Starting to wear the skin off. We've been grinding so hard there, Cheap Freighauer. Cheap Freighauer says they've been in business over 30 years. They got a 29-year head start. That's what I always say. But nobody cares anymore. They want it now. They want it instantaneous. And if you ain't the absolute end all be all, you know, they don't want it. So nobody's got the patience anymore. Credit loosened up a little bit, so able to get more people approved, and you know, is what it is. Shushant says yes, it's the Knight ELD brand. Didn't Knight? It seems like I saw Knight on a list of ones that got decertified. I don't know. We need to create our own ELD. We'll call it Shenanigans ELD. Nobody will catch on to that. Nobody. We'll call it Lithuanian Logbook. Nobody's going to understand what we're talking about. That's very covert. Alex says, yeah, that sounds about right. It does. Well, folks, I think I'm going to go to bed. Thanks for stopping in tonight. Hit the like button, subscribe, all that kind of cool stuff. And wish me luck. I don't know. I kind of feel like, give me your opinion. Kind of feel like putting a lot more business stuff out there than we're going to. But I don't feel like I should probably, even though my wife is part of the business now, do I put her in any videos? Number one, because I'm not about to put her out there like a piece of meat like half these YouTube guys do. She's not that person. She's a real lady. You know what I mean? She's not a. You'll never get anything trashy from her like you will me. And two, people don't act right. So I think we're not going to do that. Man, no, she's got a lot she could teach y'all about trucking and stuff. But I think we'll just maybe not do that. Maybe let's see what she wants to do. Maybe she'd jump in on this. I don't know. That'd be pretty awesome. Alex says a good recession indicator is when the bright-eyed, bushy-tailed Prime drivers aren't making videos anymore saying Prime is hot shit. Yeah, you got to see a lot of them are not happy. I know like 6 months ago they were all complaining about the long deadheads and that type of stuff, and justifiably so. But you know what? They'll pick that deal every day of the week over something like what I offer, and that's frustrating. But you know what? They can have it, I guess. If you can't figure it out and operate on a different level, then maybe that's where you need to be. DIY, have you tried using AI to build an app for a TMS? Dude, I struggle to find the time to wipe my own ass properly. So that's a that's a big undertaking. I have some other undertakings that I'd like to do, but it's just not going to happen. Protect Miss DIY. Yeah, it's my first inclination. Internet sucks. Yeah. I got a warning for swerving in my lane. Is this bad on my CSA score? Yeah, it's probably going to be failure to control, something like that. A warning's worse because you can't fight it. You could data queue it if you want. And you didn't sign anything. Did it come with an inspection? That's the key right there. Did it come with even like a level 3 inspection where he checks your license and maybe lights and tires? That's the key thing. If it came with an inspection, it automatically goes on your CSA. If it does not, then you're probably going to be okay. But hey, if that's the only thing you got, not a big deal. Chief Ray Holler, there's a lot of ladies that are knowledgeable and do good on social media that don't take the easy route. Yeah. No, you're right. But truck drivers, man, thirsty. They're thirsty. Hell, I try to, put it out there the best I can for that, for the thirsty truckers, but, can you handle all of this? I'm just saying. The first thing you'll notice is my snazzy attire. I can't help it. I can't help it. I'm a snappy dresser. What am I supposed to do? Hide all of this right here? I don't think so. Riding dirty got a paper warning. Then you're fine. It's probably not even on your CSA. Everybody needs to learn how to look up their own CSA score. So you go into your, well, you got to get, it goes back to, did you set up your portal? Did you go in and make your login.gov? Can you get into your portal? Then via that, you can get into to find your own CSA report for, your company. You can do it as a driver as well, in which case, you don't really need that. But, a lot of you guys have your own authority. You should pull it on your company, man. So you can see everything that's happened inside your company and what kind of points you're carrying. It's important. It's important. Cheap Fear Holler, have a good one. Boss lady's mad at me now. Hey, tell her you were with the Simi. It's time well spent. Time well spent. Looking like a Gatorade bottle. Yeah, I look like a Gatorade bottle. All right, everybody, I'm out of here. Got to go to bed. Everybody have a great night, and we will see you next time.